Alright, I figured I would make a video showing you the entire process of how I set my rotary up and get cups on there and that kind of stuff. So this is what I do literally every single time. First and foremost, I made this rotary jig years ago that just sits in the bottom right corner, snug right up against the rails here. I put a bunch of magnets on there, making sure it's not going to go anywhere. And I take my rotary from Randy, snug it right up in there. Now I know that it's straight. I take a couple magnets as well, put it behind, one over here. That way, if I'm doing 100 cups, and I'm just taking them off and throwing them on and taking them off and throwing them on, I don't have to worry about this thing sliding around if I take a cup off too hard or bump it or whatever. It's in place. Next step is I plug in the rotary, lower the bed, start moving the laser head into position. I'm not going to actually laser a cup because I'm waiting on some instructions from a customer, but I'll show you the basics. Now, my rotary has been modified quite a bit. Time is money, so I've modified mine a lot to move faster, easier for setup, that kind of stuff. So the next part, I get the bed lowered or whatever, take my cup, put it on here all the way up against this piece on the back. I just put it so that these wheels are kind of on this piece of the cup here where there's no ripples. That way there's nothing for it to make it jump around or any of that stuff. Set it there. Line it up on your corners or your rails here so that they're exactly in the same spot on each side. Then I take my little bubble level. I just use these little guys. Works perfect. Set it on here. Level it until it's close. I mean, if it's not 100% on, I mean, we're talking about millimeter differences, not a massive deal, but so I get my bubble in the center there, get my bubble in the center there. Now I know that everything is pretty much ready to rock. Next step is getting this over my cup. Let's set this back up. Okay, take my little, this is my focus tool. Get it so it's focused. Kind of stand up, look over the cup, make sure that the laser head is, you know, roughly the center of the cup. From there, I flip my switch to turn on the rotary so that only the rotary spins, laser ain't going nowhere. Now the reason I say don't use the arrow buttons on your Rotary controller is just because, like, it spins really fast. So depending on your cup and your settings, you can have cups falling off and whatever. Now you are going to have to use the left and right button, or no, sorry. You don't have to use any of the buttons on there. Alright, let's go to Lightburn. I gotta get this set up. Now, for Lightburn, let's just say this was what I wanted to put on the cup. You gotta go in here and enable Rotary. If you don't have this little button here on the side, it's in one of these settings up here. Not device settings, it's in the Lightburn settings. Right here, show Rotary enable on main window. You can turn that on. I've had it a couple times where I've turned it on here and it didn't actually turn on. So now I'm paranoid. I click it on there and then I go up here and just make sure it's enabled. Plus I gotta change the steps per rotation anyways, typically. So for me on a 30-ounce Polar, depending on the logo, like if it's just like words or a name or like something like this, I wouldn't even change it. I'd leave it at 32.57. Now if it was something a little more delicate with like half circles or hearts or circles or whatever, then I'd change it to my steps for the 30-ounce, which is 32.30. Hit OK. Again, object diameter and circumference do not matter. Not for a Rowita controller. Gotta make sure it's set to roller here. And then make sure the enable Rotary is enabled. So you can even see right here, it says for roller Rotary, the values below are not required. This is just a useful calculator. But none of this matters. The only thing that matters is your roller diameter and your steps per rotation. So 25 millimeters is the rollers that I have. For whatever reason, it just defaults to 24.995, so I just left it. It's fine. Doesn't hurt anything. Hit OK. Alright, so now we come over here and I go into my current position, my start from, change it to current position, and on the job origin I change it to the left middle, so you can see the green dot here switch to the middle when I did that. So now I come over here and I hit my position tool button and I'm going to click on this green dot. I'm going to click away so you can see on the laser what it does when I click on that green dot. It literally just moves the head left and right. So now because it's too far off, I come over here and I just use the arrow, select it, use the arrow keys on your keyboard to move it right. Do the laser position button again on that green square. Alright, getting warmer. Couple more clicks on the keyboard. Okay, we're kind of getting there. Now, the next step is once I've got it on the face of the cup, I then go to the right middle dot over here on your job origin, which moves the green dot over here. And I just repeat the process. Click on the positioning tool, click on the green dot, and now I can just go back and forth, move it into place. Just these middle dots right here. I just go back and forth on these until I've got it where I want it. Okay. Yep. So it's going to be in between the red dots there is where it's going to engrave. Now again, for me, I don't care about width because I'm going to set that. That's what I'm going to set in Lightburn up here, because that's what I care about the most. That's what I can control. You know, I don't want an 8-inch logo wrapping all the way around this thing where you can't read it, right? So I'm gonna do what, 3.5, maybe a 4-inch logo, depending on what it is. So I come up here, and now because we're sideways, you're really changing the height. So the height, I want it to be 3.5 inches, right? This way. So the width now is, we gotta see, okay, do we have 4 inches? Nope, we only have about 3, with leaving some room to be our widest. Okay, so now I come up here and hit width, make it 3. So now it's 2.33 inches wide on the cup, right? Hope this all makes sense. You know, I got 3 inches there. So now I put the cup back on the rotary. Do my little current position thing. Boom. Boom. I mean, if I was doing it, that would be about spot on for as big as you'd want to go on this cup. And then the most important thing to remember is that you don't want to change this dot without doing the position tool button, because if I change the job origin now to the left middle dot, it's gonna think that right there is the left middle dot, and so it's gonna start engraving over here. So it doesn't matter where you end, as long as your position tool is pointed at the same place where you have the green square. So I usually like to start it from over here. So I would do the left middle, I would do my laser position, and then I'd literally just hit start. I don't know. Hopefully that helps. I know it's kind of a lot of info. Can't really think of anything else that might help you right now, but questions beyond this, let me know.